Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Qingchun Liu. I'm the exchange agent working with ornamental growers in Miami-Dade County. I want to thank for this opportunity to share my work with colleagues. My title is Promote Sustainable Ornamental Production Practices Through Demonstration. So in, in my presentation, first I want to give you some background information about substrate stratification and yield mulch to manage weeds in ornamental production. And then I want to show you some results from my demonstration trials using substrate stratification and mulch. And then I want to discuss some feedback from growers and some future consideration to improve the trials. I use this figure to show you the production cost in ornamental crops and the reason why we could use stratification in the production. So in hibiscus, you can see that the first cost the cost is the labor. It costs about almost 70% of the total cost. Uh, Growing media use ranks second, is almost 10% of the total cost. So, for growers, they want to find a way to reduce the use of growing media. And that's why we want to develop this technique. And in this picture, you can see, I think this is maybe 10 years ago. You can see the price, like the pine bark and with a peat. So for one cubic yard, the cost of the pine bark is $20, but the peat is 200, is 10 times high. So that's a major reason. So with the substrate stratification, you can reduce the cost. So what it is like substrate stratification. The concept is first published by Dr. Phil's group in 2021. In those two figures, I show you how they looks like. Basically, in a container, you put like those less expensive and a little larger, like a coarser materials on the bottom of a container. And then you put your regular green media on the top. That's how the substrate stratification looks like. And this figure to show you like a stratification can their effect on the root system development. Yeah, at the beginning you see the picture on the left. They have the root mainly grow on the top layer of the on the media, and then gradually that's in stratified the mid soil. You compare that's only like a half of the only on the top half, but in non-stratified the root already reached the bottom. But gradually the whole whole soil the root reached the top bottom also for the down for the stratified soil. Uh, Here I want to show you the size of the material for stratification. You from like 4 millimeter the diameter to 3/8 of the inch. So at 3 of 1/8 inch, the pine bark, they're still like they didn't affect the plant growth. Also, like so how much can you stratify without affect the plant growth? So the picture on the right corner, you can see you can stratify it like up to 50%, which means you can use like put a 50% of the half of the container with less expensive materials without significantly affecting the plant growth. Yeah, overall, so the stratification, they can reduce the green media use, and also potentially they can reduce fertilizer use as well, without affecting the plant growth. In ornamental production, so from these two pictures, weeds can be a big challenge during the growth of the plants. Uh, And sometimes it's very difficult to even you remove the weeds with a hand. Uh, it's common to use the herbicide to manage weeds, but we know it's a herbicide chemicals. It's a we have like a environmental concern. So one alternative like way is use organic materials like Roscoe uh, to manage weeds. With the Roscoe, it's relatively well studied, like, and already adopted by some growers. Like you see like the picture in the left is the growers they use in their production, and also you can use like the picture in the middle. You can use the wood chips uh, use to manage weeds. Uh, the picture like on the right on the top right, that's the like the gardenia sold in the retail store. You see like you can see the rice hull on the top of the soil. The purpose is to cover to manage the weeds. The picture on the right on the bottom, so that's like you can see you can use like apply rice hull with a machine. So I conducted some demonstration trials to show the potential benefits of those new practice to my local ornamental growers, because like either of those two practice I is not common in my area, and so the to promote the sustainable practice, uh, and also want to know how the local growers they think about those practice based on their comments, so I can like refine the trials to improve the results. So here is the first trial. I did a substrate stratification in last year with the Ixora and Wenca. But this time I use a little bit larger materials, mini nuggets, pine bark, and stratify at like just fill the pot like 30% of the pots. So you see the figure, I have two type of soil. Uh, in the stratification didn't affect the Ixora growth in either of the soil, and also similar results with the Winca, also like in the in the bottom in the table. Yeah, this is the result from the trials this year. Um, this is the one with hibiscus. Hibiscus is the major crop in Miami-Dade. It's like 30% of the annual field crops. Um, so it's in the picture, like see, like the plant on the left is the control, which means the soil is also is their regular growing media. The plant on the right is stratified with a coarse pine bark at 50%. You can see there, look at their canopy. There's no difference between two treatments. And also you look at their shoot biomass. Also, you didn't see any difference. There's no difference also. However, if you look at their root ball, the root in stratified treatment, they're still a little loose. You can see those pine bark on the ground. With the second trial is with the manivela. Manivela is also a popular crop in our area too. The similar is you see the picture, the plant on the left is the control, and the picture on the right is the stratified with a coarse pine bark at a 50%. Similar like as the hibiscus, there it couldn't tell difference on their canopy, and this time the shoot biomass with the stratification numerically the little less, but not a statistical difference. Also, the similar issue, the root ball for stratified is the little loose, which means that the root hasn't like fully reached to the bottom of the pots at the time of the harvesting. This is like the time for the shaping. Yeah, this result is from another project with the manivela. But for stratification, this trial with a fine pine bark. Fine bark means I think about 1/8 of the quarter, like the pine bark size, at 30%. You see, like the plant on the right is the control, is the number one. So number 3, the plant in the middle. Number 5 is the plant on the right. So number 3 and number 5, they're all stratified treatment. You look at the figure, the canopy side, there are no significant difference between those 3 treatments. Actually, the treatment 5, the canopy is a little larger than the control. Also, in this trial, I test also with the coolers, but with the stratified with the fine pine bark, but look at the different ratio. Stratified at 30%, that's the plant in the middle, and 50%, that's plant on the left. You look at the canopy size, there are also no significant difference between those 3 treatments. So with the trials on the stratification, we saw like the particle size of the pine bark can affect the root ball formation. If the larger pine bark need a longer time for the root development. So for annual crop in our area like hibiscus and manivela, maybe like a fine pine bark may be better for those crops. For the ratio stratification, you can use 50 up to 50%, which means for growers you can save like 50% of the expensive growing media without significantly affecting the plant performance. To manage with the mulch, I tested with Exora. Exora planted in February this year. To apply Roscoe, first I applied right up like at mid-May when I saw weed start emerging. Then the second time, that's like when I remove the weeds like in the pot manually, then apply the Roscoe and those landscape mulch. So you can see the picture on the left. That's like you see the plants that are relatively small. That's like see when the you compare to the plant on the left left side, you see a lot of like weeds already growing, but the pods cover the Roscoe, they're clean. So after I confirmed the effect of the Roscoe, I just for other treatment, I just applied the Roscoe on those parts after remove the weeds. And after I think this about 2 weeks, you can see the pots covered with the Roscoe. They're clean. They're not perfect. Most of them they're clean. But similar like those pots with covered with the landscape mulch, you can see the pots not without those Roscoe or mulch. You can see the a lot of weeds grow out from the soil. Yeah, this two pictures show you the the effect the Roscoe or mulch on the biomass of the weeds. You can see the top picture on the top. So after I think 2 weeks, average like 6 pots. That's a dry weight. You see the without a Roscoe, you see the 27 grams the dry the wheat, but covered with the Roscoe, it's only like a 4 gram. It's like 6 times higher. Similar like with the landscape mulch, you see the pot covered with the without covered the mulch is 16 gram. If covered with the mulch, it's only about 2 grams. So in this trial, the Roscoe or mulch they significantly inhibit the weed growth, and they show that their potential to manage weeds in containers, so growers can reduce the herbicide use. So for the time of application, if you're not applied the like Roscoe at the time of planting, so you can apply those materials when you see the weeds start emerge. So I had a I have a field day to show the results like the stratification to local growers. Um, growers like when growers see the results like the hibiscus and manuela, they said they would like to the root ball to be intact when shaping the plants. So they don't want like their consumer customers when they replant it like in their yards, the root ball they're loose. So so what this means like for some crops like like hibiscus or manuela, you better use like a smaller size the pine bark like a fine pine bark. For some other crops, maybe like they growing longer in the field, you can increase the size of the pine bark. And for weed management with the rascal growers also uh, they're concerned like maybe when you shipping the rascal maybe they can cause the mess like when shipping. Uh, but when you recall the picture of the gardenia they sold in the retail store, maybe it's not a big issue, uh, particularly when you like for for landscape plants, like gardenia, maybe like Ixora, uh, particular also like for crops like they grow relatively longer uh, when shaping like when or they sell plants the rice hull the material they kind of like they degrade for some is not a they stay with the soil. Uh, Before I finish, I want to thank the FDEX for their funding to my project. And I also want to thank my collaborators, also my members of my advisory committee and the local growers.
Yes.